All right. Now let's see if we've got some chats. Do we got some chats now? So sorry about all that. I'm not really even close to sure why that was disabled. But literally every single time I tried to check it, it kept saying that it was no good. So that's my bad, I guess. All right, so here we go. PVS Friday Night Live. Yes, and now we've got chat. Fantastic. So I'm just going to wait for some folks to get up in here. Now that I've inconvenienced everyone to the point where they don't even want to watch. What is up? All right, good. Good. The chat is working. Well, at least it didn't take 13 minutes. It only took 12 minutes to get it all figured out. And not 13. Is the says I'm live. What the hell? Brutal. It's getting hot in here. Dimitri, can you see it, bro? I mean, stream status says it's okay. Health is good. Everything good. Good. Gotta love live streaming. I'm telling you, as soon as they ever, when the time comes that they ever perfect this, then I'm telling you, it's going to be fantastic. Because I love live streaming probably more than I like doing pre-produced videos. A, it's easier. B, I get live in real time interaction with people. And it's just so much easier. All right, guys, let's chat about photography, videography. I don't care what it's Friday night, kind of, almost Friday afternoon. But I'll go ahead and start off by saying what I was talking about before the last live stream got all messed up. I have never seen the level of Canon fanboyism like I did the other day or yesterday after I released my Canon 60 Mark II video. And of course, like, I don't hate Canon. I really want people to understand that I do not hate any camera company, like, at all. I don't hate anybody. I want all of them to succeed so that they continue to push the market forward. I want better shiz. So there's no reason for me to hate on one camera company. But like, when I see Canon, one of the biggest camera manufacturers in the entire flipping world, do a layup like the Canon 60 Mark II, I mean, that doesn't do anything for our industry whatsoever. Absolutely nothing. When they just go, here's a scaled down ADD, there's literally no point. Literally no point. Like, they didn't do anything yesterday. They repackaged an old camera that already had 3-year-old tech in it and then said, here you go, guys. I hope we sell a bunch of them. But, the people that are in the know, like, who actually have a frame of reference, they're not going to buy that camera. I mean, I hope they don't. If they do, they would actually save money by buying like a 5D Mark III, to be perfectly honest, and get a beefier, more well-rounded camera. And yeah, I mean, those are the guys that are going, oh, well, it's all about the still side. It's not about video, or it's not about these high frame rates or just whatever. Okay, so save yourself some money and get yourself the 5D Mark III and save some cash. Like, but you know, those are illogical people. Those are fanboys. Those are people that like to make excuses for their team when they really foul up. You ever see that guy in the stands has got the paint on the face and on his man titties all the way down to his junk? You know, those are the fanboys that will apologize for whatever camera company it is or whatever, no matter what they do, no matter how bad they F up, no matter how bad they mess up, they're going to have an excuse for them, and they're going to make the best of a really, really bad situation. To a certain extent, I completely get it, but come on now. Act right. Call your camera companies out. If you want them to do better, if you want them to make amazing stuff, quit giving them a pass every time they lay up with a piece of crap repackaged camera. Hey, Thomas, how's it going, man? He says, are we seeing a rapid flip from Canon, Nikon to Sony, Fuji? It looks like Nikon are simply giving up. Dude, I think so too, really. I mean, as far as like sports and stuff goes, I think Canon's done a fantastic, absolutely fantastic, or as far as Nikon goes, I'm sorry. As far as Nikon goes, I think they did a fantastic job with the D500. You know, as far as like, at first I wasn't very impressed. I even made a video where I was like, I'm not very impressed at all. And I kind of apologize for that, but I mean, I think at the time when I made it, you know, whenever the D500 first came out, I think it was like last year, early last year, something. I don't know. I still had the bad taste in my mouth from you know, the whole past Nikon experience, where both of these companies just slowly but surely drip out these features. I mean, it really irks my nervous system, and I want them to not do that anymore. I want to see them genuinely and truly innovate. I want to see them create something that we've not seen before. You know, and unfortunately, you know, this could be a good thing or it could be a bad thing. I don't really know. A lot of people are always concerned about, you know, a camera's durability, how long it's going to last, you know, how beefy it is, how strong is it. But I mean, we're recycling our cameras, at least to me, what seems like to be every other year, maybe even sooner at times. So I don't know, man. Nathan, damn, bro, finally, for real. Where you been, man? You almost never catch a live. Thomas says, if Sony rolled out some impressive new APS-C lenses in 2018, G-Master, would you look at a 6500 again? Yeah, probably. I mean, just because, I mean, don't get me wrong. I have absolutely positively fallen in love with the Fuji X-T3. I mean, this camera has really stolen my heart as far as stills photography goes. The lenses are absolutely amazing. And like I said, I'm not trying to speak with hyperbole either. Like, they are exquisitely, amazingly crafted lenses. They are not skimping on the quality. They're not going, oh, well, this is just an APS-C. Let's chuck out, you know, a plastic piece of shit or whatever, you know, light duty, you know, Coke can aluminum. Like, these lenses are extremely well built. If you've never played with any of them, do yourself a favor. Now, I realize that it's not going to be for everyone because most of us are doing hybrid stuff, but I already had the Sony cameras. So as far as like, even if this camera, as it has kind of proven itself to me that it's not going to be like the best as far as really easily automatic video. Okay. And I get that. But I already had the Sony cameras in possession, so it was no big deal. It's just like, well, I'll just use those. You know, who cares? You know, the money's already been spent. I mean, you know, I could always get some of my money back out of it. But I mean, honestly, I've been enjoying the images that I've been getting. And if you guys have been watching any of my videos, I think that the image quality of the images that I've been taking, I mean, of course, you know, you don't get a really good sense of how good they are in video, but most of the time I usually will share my 500 pixels account, and people can go and see what I've been shooting in much higher resolution, much better detail. And they're just blowing my panties up, man. I just love it. I just absolutely love it. And as a matter of fact, like, I hate to ruin a good surprise, but I did happen to get this in the mail today. Biggity big, damn it. Got that in the mail today, and I got the 23 millimeter f2 prime, the 35 f2 prime. I mean, look at that build quality, man. I mean, that is all metal construction. Nice clicky aperture ring. The dampening on the focus ring is so smooth. And I also got the 50 millimeter f2 prime. It's fantastic. I mean, like, I'm actually, for such small lenses, like, I wasn't really for sure if I was going to like the size of these lenses for some reason. I don't know why. When I played with these lenses at the camera store a couple of weeks ago, like, my initial impression was, oh, that's weird, you know. And I couldn't get my head around, you know, why they shaped the lenses the way that they did, because, you know, I was used to these, you know, fuller size lenses, which I absolutely love. The 18 to 55, as far as a really fantastic travel zoom lens, it is going to be really hard to pull me away. These lenses here, especially the 50, which effectively becomes like it basically becomes your 85. It's basically a 75, but this is a fantastic portrait lens. And if I'm working, you know, in studio with a client or something like that, these lenses, the 35 and the 50, that's what I would be using. If I just wanted to go out all day and shoot with one lens and that was it, and I wanted, you know, really, really sharp image quality, I think I'd take the 23, because it's basically a 35 millimeter equivalent. But I got to say, the 18 to 55 is super convenient as far as actually being small, light, having optical image stabilization. It's extremely sharp. It's not a slow lens either. But as far as the absolutely best in wide angle image quality, I absolutely positively love this 16 millimeter without a doubt. It's just kind of it's just a bigger lens. It's a very heavy, well-made lens though. And it's also got the clutch system on there. So, but I mean, the wide angle shots that I've been getting with this lens, there's not a chance, not a snowball's chance in hell that I would ever give this lens up. I absolutely love this lens. For video, it's not very good. I mean, it's not bad, but it's also not very good because it's kind of a noisier lens. But yeah, for stills photos, those wide angles, oh, this thing is just primo. I love this lens. Warren says, I have the X-T3 also and love it. Yeah, I mean, I haven't really gotten a chance to really dive down and really kind of, you know, explore it. I mean, as far as like the controls and stuff, I mean, it looks like, you know, it's just a little baby. It's a little baby X-T2. That's what it looked like. But I can see this being a fantastic travel camera for me. Like, if I don't want to carry a big heavy rig, I love the fact that it uses the exact same batteries as the X-T2. The one thing that that quarter 20 mount that's kind of offset from the lens, I don't like that at all. So this would be kind of like a handhold lens only kind of thing. I don't like the fact that it doesn't have a mic jack. I mean, it does, but at 2.5 millimeter, I don't know why that, you know, that was a bad design choice on Fuji's part there. I mean, this is a stills camera. So again, I'm not getting the video side of what I'm used to like out of my A6300, you know. I can do photo or video. It's not like Sony doesn't take fantastic photographs, because it does. Absolutely, positively takes amazing photographs. But I love always being able to have the ability to just swap over and do video and know that it's going to be in focus. It's going to autofocus like a mofro. No problems, no issues. So that's always a big deal for me. That's the reason why I picked this up, because I had video covered already. Even if this was horrible in video, which it's not, but it's just not as good. Even if this was horrible in video, I still knew that I had video covered with the A6300. Warren says, and the 50mm prime is a dream to shoot with. I was playing around with it. I only got about 20 minutes with it. Like, literally, it just came in the mail today. Only got about 20 minutes to play with it, but the rendition of color and the bokeh rendering is just amazing. Like, even at f2, like, you wouldn't think that you would be impressed with an f2 to start off with, right? I mean, at least that's what you're led to believe. But these lenses are so good. Now, this lens right here, the 35mm, maybe it's just me, maybe it's just my copy, but it felt like it snapped to focus like really fast, which in most cases would be like really good, I suppose. I don't know. It just did it in a really weird way. So if you guys own this 35mm and it happens to do something very similar, you guys let me know, because it seemed odd to me for some reason. Dunny Monster says, am I the only one seeing static image with no audio? Oh, poor Dunny. Okay, you look like you got it figured out, Dunny. That's cool. Yeah, I was getting worried about you there, man. I was hoping you'd be able to work that out. I didn't want to address the problem while I was... Yeah, some people were, a couple of other people at the beginning of the stream, they were having issues too. Thomas says, do you do more or less post-processing with X-T2 or Sony? Less. A lot less. That's how good these images are, in my opinion. I feel like I have to do less to them. I feel like I have to do less fiddling with the files in order to get them to a point where I like them. And, I see people all the time. I'm just not one of these people, okay? I see people all the time. They post-process the hell out of their photographs, probably 10 times more than I do anyway. I mean, people see, oh, I'm going to do a little sharpening here, and then I'm just going to do a little bit of highlights in here, and I'm really just going to manipulate the living shit out of this photograph so that it quite literally doesn't look anything like what you shot. You know what I'm saying? And I guess it's a good option to have. I just don't do it. So I'm not bashing anyone for doing that. I mean, everyone's got different artistic or creative visions, and you need to, make that realizable with whatever software and whatever technique you want to use. I just don't happen to be a hardcore post processor. I mean, what do you guys do? I mean, 9 times out of 10, like I edit this stuff that's basically in the first panel. I do contrast, I do a little bit of sharpening, a little bit of detail, maybe bring up the highlights, maybe, or bring down the highlights, lift the shadows a little bit, add a little extra black point, if it's a little too washed out or something. I do tweaks. I try to make my shots look as amazing as I possibly can, just via lighting and my composition. Now, it's not to say that I don't manipulate some of my photographs. If there's something in the frame, I want to get it out of the frame, I'll manipulate that way. But I just don't. I'm not going in like a mob boss, man. I'm not going to work on a guy, right? That's not what I'm doing. So, I mean, there's a million different ways to skin a cat. I just don't happen to go that deep into editing my photographs. So, I kind of like to see it most of my photographs, I like to see them just a little bit more contrasty. And I don't like my blacks to be all that washed out. I like them to be nice, deep, rich blacks. Like I said, I'm a black and white shooter, so I know that most people, when if you shoot color all the time and that's your specialty, when I shoot color, I actually do quite a bit more post-processing, because you have things like color shifts, odd hues, white balance problems, reflected light from, grandma's green wallpaper or whatever, and it just throws odd stuff in there. Can really play hell with your photographs if you don't have everything well controlled. Another big reason that I like black and white is it's much easier to deal with. Maybe I'm just fucking lazy. I don't know. Thomas says, I don't see a lot of users talking about long lens use on Fuji. Is this due to a lack of greater than 200 millimeter, or simply Fuji is a different user? Or yeah. Well, I mean, they've got long lenses. I think they've got a 100 to 400. They've got the 55 to 140, which technically is a 200. I know that they have some plans to increase their long lens lineup. What's that other one they got? They got the 55 to 200. I've never been like a long focal range shooter anyway. So like when I went looking at the Fuji system, I noticed right off the bat that they had just about every focal range that I wanted covered. So like I said, most people, they do that long telephoto stuff, where they need 400, 500, 600 millimeters. I don't really need that. The only reason I really wish that I had something super duper long right now is because of the solar eclipse. It's literally going to be passing right over top of me. So I have got to get a solar filter, and I also have to get a long angle lens. Like I want at least like a good 300 so that I can get the vast majority of the sun's corona. Is anyone else going to be shooting that? I mean, it's literally skipping from the northwest, the upper northwest, all the way down, like straight across the country. So let me know if you're going to be photographing it. Dunny says, if you have to do very heavy processing, you didn't get the shot right to start with. Man, I 100% agree. Unless you're just using the photograph as like the beginning palette for something over the top artistic. But yeah, I think that if you're shooting photographs, and you're not a photo manipulator, if you're not a heavy photo editor, if you are a photographer and you try to wait for the right lighting, you try to wait for the right angle, you try to get the perfect, point of view, you try and select the perfect focal range, try to gauge what depth of field is going to best complement the subject. When you kind of go through all those things and you don't just go, all right, I got a digital camera, I just want to record the data so that I can then get it home and then change it all around. I don't call that photography. I mean, that's just, you're recording the data so that you have something to start off with, and then you manipulate the shit out of it. So, but then again, I could be wrong. It's just my opinion. So no one crucify me today. It's Friday. Let's try to keep the crucifixions to a minimum. It's Friday. Nathan says, I wish I had something super duper long. Dude, first of all, you're white. Just like me. I'm 5'6" and white. I ain't got anything that's super duper long. I mean, I have seen some dudes with, some, but I mean, nothing like this guy's got. So, dude, I piss on my own balls. Warren says, I would like to see at f1.8 at, say, 16 to 35. 16 to 35? Well, they've already got the the 1.8. What is it, the 1.8 or the 1. It's, oh yeah, they might do that. They might. As a matter of fact, I think that they're working on. Well, I think it's going to be an ultra wide. I think it's going to be like an 8-16. Yeah, I don't know if they're going to do a 16-35 1.8 or not. I didn't see it on the roadmap. So if they do, like, I'll be excited. I would love to see a 16 to 35. That's my jam right there. 16 between 16 and 35. I rarely do 50. Up to 50. Just because it's more of a, I don't know. It's not as good of a walk around focal length. So even with the 18 to 55, I don't go that high or that long, that deep. You know what I'm saying? Thomas says, have you tried adapted lenses on the X-T2? I have not. I haven't. I mean, I've got absolutely no reason to adapt right now. Like, I feel like the level of quality that I'm getting, not only from the 16 millimeter, then the 18 and 55 is sharp as hell, but if I was doing more studio work, if I was doing more client work right now, I probably would give some of my film glass a shot on the Fuji X-T2. But I mean, I just haven't. And Fuji's lenses are really, I mean, I hate to sound like a parrot, but I mean, they are good. So, I mean, most people don't know that until they try it out. So I always recommend people go ahead and try it out. But I'm actually actively acquiring more native Fuji lenses because I actually like them. These lenses right here remind me of like Leica Summicron lenses. They're so well built. Absolutely. And this is very rangefinder size glass too. It's very small, very light, but extremely capable glass. Some of the test shots that I took today, I mean, were just unbelievably good. Blew my mind when I was checking it out. Dimitri says, I think it depends if it's for print or not. Probably, but I like to print my stuff without heavy manipulation, and I think that most of it turns out really, really good. So some of it could use sharpening, but from afar, from a general viewing distance of someone just standing and looking at a photograph up on a wall, I don't think that you have to sharpen everything to the point where like it's hurting your eyes. You know what I'm saying? Have you ever sharpened a photograph too much? You're like, whoa, no. That's way over the top. We don't need that at all. You back it off some. And maybe it's just because I'm always editing on a 5K display. So flaws are extremely easy for me to see, but I know that they're not going to be as easy to see when I print them out into like an 8x10 or an 11x17 or something like that. I just know that they're not going to be as noticeable. People don't stand that close, and they don't have those images blown up 400%, checking out all of the minute little details of the photograph. You don't have to. I mean, I guess it's good if you're that particular about your images that you just want them to be absolutely pristine, but you're never going to notice them if you print them out. I mean, the only way you ever notice that level of flaws is if you genuinely blow it up to 400%. Otherwise, you're not going to see it. Warren says, how are the prints going with the Canon Pixma? So far, so good. I absolutely love the stuff that I printed out so far, and I've got a couple of other ones that I want to print out, but I tried to restrain myself. I did probably like 5 or 6 different prints. And I felt myself wanting to do more. You get really excited. You got plenty of ink and you got fresh tanks, and you're just like, all right, I'm just going to print all of this shit. Just all of it. And really, you'd be more slow, be a little bit more selective. I'm thinking about doing some numbered prints, some stuff that I really like, and maybe just doing some autographed and numbered prints or something. Maybe give those away or give them away as gifts. I've thought about that. As a matter of fact, I gave a film portrait. I actually did a portrait of my grandmother. If you guys watch any of my film videos, you'll see this really awesome portrait of my grandma. I mean, it's awesome to me. Probably not awesome to anybody else, but it's really awesome to me. And I shot it with the Ilford HP5 film, and I printed it out. I have found that if I print the black and white photographs on even really cheap matte paper, that the image holds up extremely well. So if you shoot a lot of black and whites and you want to save just a smidgen of money, now it's not going to last as long, obviously, as like a Pro Luster print or something like that. But if it's just for personal consumption and you happen to shoot black and white, save yourself some money, print it out, get it, put it in your frame, get it underneath some glass. No one will ever know the difference, I promise. It actually looks pretty damn good. So, Nathan says, damn, I feel tall. I'm 5'8". Yeah, I'm a short dude. I mean, I figured everyone kind of knew that just based on all my videos. Like, I don't look tall at all. Nathan says, why are you looking at dudes' lenses? Man, don't we all? Just a little bit. I mean, come on now. See, but I'm not. I have been around some of the foulest people ever. So I like, as far as like openness and sexuality and stuff like that. Like my community, my group of friends, my extended whorebag friends. I mean, they're all over the map when it comes to like what they're into and all that kind of stuff. So I've seen it all, and not a bit of it freaks me out. None of it whatsoever. But yeah, so I'm looking forward to checking out the Fuji X-T3 quite a bit. I hope to get to shoot with it quite a bit this weekend. Everyone that I have talked to so far that has owned this, that has used it on a regular basis, has said that the image sensor and the processor is exactly the same as the X-T2. So quite literally, if you just want a much smaller version of the X-T2, now obviously it's not going to be as powerful, I get that. But if you just want a good, solid, small format camera, check it out. So I checked it out. So I'm going to be giving lots and lots of checking out this weekend. And I'm also going to be trying out these F2 Primes. I think that these are probably going to be my jam, especially for how cheap they are. The only lens that I think that I am probably going to get it, I don't know if it's going to be worth it or not. I'll have to see. I'll have to get it in for review. But I'm still thinking that I'm going to get the 56 f1.2 just as a bombastic, over the top, crazy good portraiture lens. Because a lot of the studio work that I do, it is sort of like kind of fashion or whatever. It's creative art, but it usually involves some sort of female, and of course they want to look gorgeous and they want to look beautiful. The depth of field really accentuates everything. So yeah, I do think that I want to get that lens in at least. I mean, I've played around with it already. I've not had it long enough to go it's a must buy, but from everything that I've read, most people are saying, dude, it is a must buy. Like if you do any level of studio work where you're photographing, whether it be headshots or fashion or anything where you've got time to set up with your flash photography and everything, everyone's going, you definitely are going to want to check out the 56 millimeter. So Nathan says, well, hang on. Dunny Monster says, mount your camera at chest height and you'll look like you're 7 feet tall. Yeah, that's true. But I'm not doing that. You know how weird that would look? Just can't do it. Definitely can't do it. Nathan says, well, at least you don't live in Tennessee. No, but I do live just north. If you live in Tennessee, I live just north in Kentucky. So Ultramuck says, Mark, why not the 35 millimeter 1.4? I don't know. Without going back and forth, these lenses, first of all, are very small and they're very light. So if that's important to you, which it is to me, I've heard that this 35 millimeter is much faster, much snappier, and it's only about a stop of light less. So I don't know. In order to save $600, is one stop of light all that bad? I guess it's 100% dependent. So without me doing a side-by-side comparison, there's no real way for me to say one way or the other. So Warren says, my daily travel bag has the X-T3 in it with the 18-135. Now, that's another lens that I haven't tried. Like I said, I don't do many like really long zooms, and the 18-55 is pretty damn good because of the optical image stabilization. I am more than likely at some point going to be getting the 50-140. That, or I've been considering just doing, what is it, the 55-200? Is that what it is? Or is it the 210 or something? It's the 3.5, but it also has optical image stabilization in it as well. So I've been debating on one of those two lenses. Not really sure. So, I guess there's a lot to choose from. That's what I'm saying. Do you see what I'm saying? With Sony in the APS-C line, there was nothing to choose from. And with Fuji, I got a smorgasbord over here. Goddamn fiesta. It is a lens fiesta over here. So OIS, yeah. Warren says, I was very surprised by the sense and the slower aperture. Oh, are you talking about the lens or the Fuji X-T3? It is. I mean, if you're talking about the X-T3, I can tell that it's just it does have a slight delay, but I mean, it's not like if it's casual shooting. If you're not shooting sports, I mean, it's not that bad. Josh says that the 56 1.2 definitely a must buy. See, everyone keeps saying it. Everybody keeps saying it. So like, I don't think they're wrong. I mean, I have to spend the $1,200 on that lens. Everyone keeps telling me. And if everyone tells me I have to, then I have to. Nathan says 2.5 hours away. Nice. And I'm assuming you're talking about 2.5 hours away to the border, because my brother plays in Nashville. Like he plays at all the bars and stuff down on Broadway. So I was down there probably a month ago or so. So next time I'm down, maybe I'll say what's up. Next time you're up, you say what's up. Ryan, what's going on, man? I haven't seen you in a while in a live. Where you been? Probably drinking too much coffee, shitting your brains out, like I'm doing right now. Warren says the 18-135 has iOS as well. Okay. So that makes it what? 4 telephoto lenses? 3 telephoto lenses? And all of them have optical image stabilization. And I shit you not, folks, absolutely amazing. I tested out the OIS on the 50-140. Handheld, perfectly sharp shots. Completely zoomed out. Optical image stabilization turned on. Perfectly sharp shots. I'm just saying. Handheld. Zoomed all the way out to 200 millimeters. Which is 300 millimeters on the APS-C. Perfectly sharp and relatively slow shutter speeds. So it's really good. So just wanted to let everyone know that. So in case you all were thinking about checking it out, those are facts. Extremely sharp photographs, all the way zoomed out with the optical image stabilization turned on. Shit, boy, y'all are really cranking them out now. Franklin says, picked up the X Pro 2, picked up an X Pro 2, got to sell off my phony A7 Mark II now. There's someone else in the audience now that was just talking to me about potentially picking up an X Pro 2. Especially for you rangefinder guys, I've heard nothing, absolutely nothing but amazing things about the X Pro 2. I almost see, and here's where I insulated myself. When I was at the camera store, I almost had the guy pull the X Pro 2 off off the shelf just to, you want to look. But I didn't. I withheld and I played with the 50 to 140 instead, which is what I need. I need more Fuji glass, not more Fuji cameras. So I'm going to play around with this X-T3. I'm going to give it a shot. I'm going to see if it's going to be, the bee's knees for a fantastic little travel camera. I love the look already. I love the fact that we still have dials for days on top. Like I said, it's like a little baby. It's like a little baby X-T3 or an X-T2. It's so cute. Tell me it's not. I think some of these non-Fuji guys are jelly because these are sexy cameras. Very, especially if you like classical SLR styled cameras, which I do. Like, I absolutely love the old Canon, or not the Canon. Well, I mean, I do like some of the old Canon, but I really like the Nikon F and E mount cameras. I mean, those are just absolutely gorgeous cameras, in my personal opinion. So don't you Canon boys come at me again. Get all hype with me because I said something. And it says, I'm 30 minutes from the border. Knox, not Nash, though. Gotcha. Sweet. Ryan says, I've been around just a little quiet. Why? Don't be quiet. I mean, you can't make a whole lot of noise in a chat room, but be more active. Are you depressed? You need a hug or anything? I mean, I'm not trying to make light if you actually do have depression. I'm just saying. I'm here for you, bro. Yeah. Yep. Oh my God, there's so many comments now. Where the hell did all you all come from? Eric Rossi says, oh my God, it's that Fuji guy. No, it's me. But I'm still Sony guy. My video yesterday was recorded on a Sony and not on a Fuji. Just to point that out. Ryan says, it is bad. I want to find a lens kit for my iPhone 7 Plus. Is it bad that I want to find a lens kit for my iPhone 7 Plus? No, because every person that does photography that has a decent camera on their phone wants it to be better than what it is. I mean, I'm waiting for interchangeable lens camera phones. I'm just saying. I don't know if it's going to happen, but count me in when it does. And I hope that Apple is the first to do it. Or at least to do it well. Let's put it that way. I know that there's been some modular phones out there. I don't know how good they are. Never tried one. Don't really care. It's always iPhone. It'll probably always be iPhone. Just because I'm 100% Apple fanboy. Proud of it. Bash me all you want, you PC master race douchebags. It's Apple all the way. I just like all my shit to talk to one another. I like no blue screen of death. I like not having a registry. God damn. Like, you know how long it's been since, oh my God, my registry's corrupted. My registry is just all messed up. I have to reinstall. Yeah, I haven't had to say that in 8 years. Best decision ever. Josh says, so how did the 50 to 140 feel balance-wise on the X-T2? Not bad. I mean, obviously, you're going to cradle, a lens that big with your focusing hand. So, I mean, it's a fantastically balanced lens. Like, it is shorter and smaller than both the Canon and the Nikon VR 70 to 200s. I would say it's more comparable to the Nikon in weight. I know that it's lighter, but I don't know by how much because they were fairly similar. But as far as balance and stuff is concerned, with the battery grip on, easy peasy, man. So when I tested the 5140, that's what I had on it. I had the battery grip on it. I didn't have it with its drawers off. So I couldn't tell you. But as far as balance, yeah, it was really good. No different than any other, long telephoto lens or anything like that. So it was good. All right. Dunny says, hey, I literally just spent 1,249 pounds. Pre-ordering the new Tamron 24-70 f2.8 G2. Got to wait to the end of July and August. Am I crazy to pre-order blind? No, I think there's probably a lot of people that probably, you know, that lens has got some hype. It's not like you couldn't sell it if it was no good, but I mean, how many people do you know that have been saying, you know, horrible things about, I don't know, Tamron's lenses lately? I mean, the Tamron's kind of doing, in my opinion, a little bit like what Sigma's doing right now, where it seems like everything that they're putting out is just like, finally, like these are some amazing lenses. People are really getting behind some of these off-brand lenses. What I should be saying is not off-brand. I mean, it makes it sound cheap, but some of these third-party lenses. So Franklin says, for us at least, Eric Rossi says, Dunning Canon's version comes out in September. Yeah, I can't remember if Dunning shoots Canon or not. Is that what it? No, he didn't indicate. So, Dunning, do you shoot Canon? That's why you jumped to Canon's defense yesterday, you fanboy. Now I know what's up. See, I thought you was something else. You're a Canon fan. That's the reason you jumped to Canon's defense yesterday. I've got it all figured out now. I know now why. You were super duper soft. I mean, boy, the apologetics just rolled right on out of you. That was different. Usually you're snarky and cheeky, but not this time. You were apologetic. Now I know what's up. Nathan says, oh, sorry. He's talking to someone else. Franklin says, I had the version 24-70 2.8 and it was awesome. Got to imagine that the new one will be very good. Oh, must be. Oh, talking about the Tamron lens again. Oh, Dunny is a Nikon user. See, something's up. I feel like something's up. Yeah, graphite. As a matter of fact, as far as these cameras, I really like the graphite. I just like to be, you know, I just wanted to I don't know, I guess stay traditional. I'm always worried that like if it's like a fake color, if it's like a paint, that eventually it's just going to get all chipped and it's just going to make it look more ugly than if it was just straight up black. Is that weird? I mean, maybe someone else can tell me if it's like if it's solid, like if it doesn't get all scratched and scraped up. Like I would probably have gotten the XT2 in like the silver or a graphite color or something like that. But I am so afraid that if it gets all ganked, you know, because cameras do get bumped quite a bit. They get raked across the coals every now and then. You just, you know, you don't want to carry your camera around if it looks like you just drug it across a driveway full of rocks. You know, I don't want that either. So I'm always a little bit leery when camera companies come out with special colors, or I'm always afraid that if it was like anodized aluminum or if it was baked into the metal and they mixed it in or something and I knew that it wasn't going to be no thing, then yeah, I'd probably do it. But I'm always a little bit leery. So maybe you guys can enlighten me. Dunny says, you watch. Now that I've ordered it, it'll turn out to be a turd. That's the reason I don't do a whole lot of pre-orders. I don't know why people, you know, they just can't live without it, that they have to pre-order it. They don't want to wait for samples or some reviews or some feedbacks. Let the YouTubers and the reviewers take the hit first. At least we can borrow it and just send it back if it's no good, but you got to go through the hassle of buying it. Franklin says they are going to sell a bunch, I bet, to be honest. They probably will. I mean, especially for the price. Seriously. I mean, it's competitive, so there's no reason that they wouldn't sell. I mean, you know, there's going to be nitpickers. There's going to be people on the edges or on the fringes. It'll be, you know, comparing it to the native lens, or they'll, oh, it's got a little too much of this or a little too less of that. So, but yeah, they'll sell a shit ton of them. Absolutely. Franklin says people want flippy screens bad. I know I do. I don't understand why camera companies, I mean, why are they so resistant to very angle, tilty flippy, multi vlogging angle screens? What's the aversion? It's like, if you have a mountain of people, like here, let me go back to Canon, the Canon 60 Mark II. Canon missed a fantastic opportunity. If they would just do the shit that we are telling them to do, like the very angle touchscreen was a fantastic choice. Beautiful. But if they had put 4K, if they had incorporated 120 frames per second, if they had done 100% viewfinder coverage, if they had done dual card slides, if they had done any of those things, if they had done 100 megabits per second in the data rate, if they'd done any of those things, they would have sold out the whole thing. Because Canon glass is all over the place. It's replete. There is Canon glass everywhere. But what they do? They laid up. Could you imagine how much real, honest to God fervor and business that Canon would generate if they would just do the shit that we've been asking them to do? Could you even imagine how much money they would make? Why they continue to do these weak ass releases is beyond me. They've got the money, they've got the finances. If they don't sell another Cinema Camera 1, who cares? Why are you pushing a product that caters to only one group of people while putting the proverbial ding-a-ling in everyone else's rear end? You're alienating your own user base, the segment of the market that actually makes you the most money, by the way. Even if people never use the features, put it in your cameras. Just put it in there. Charge a premium and watch it fly off the shelves. So what they don't get, I have no idea. It blows my mind. Ultramog says, you should try the Rokinon 50 f1.2. It's a manual lens, however, is extremely sharp. Check out the Fablographer. Yeah, as a matter of fact, I met the Fablographer a few months back. He's a super nice guy, and he gave me a hug. A tight bear hug. He thought I was sexy, I'm telling you. I'm just kidding. I don't know. No, he was a nice guy. I really liked it. Loch Ness Biker says, what are you drinking? By the way, Loch Ness, look, I appreciate your musical feedback on all my videos, but I am playing music. On my pre-produced videos, it's happening. I appreciate it. I appreciate the feedback. You don't have to watch those videos, but as you can see, like I'm doing the live show right now, there's no music. I wish I had some music on for real. Just because I hate like the dead silences. Some people don't mind them, but I mean, I like just a little bit of something in the background when I'm watching someone else do a video. It's like, dude, couldn't you, like, you too long of pauses, man. Drop a beat back there or something. But I am drinking an iced coffee, a latte. I have some heavy whipping cream, some ice, a little bit of stevia, liquid stevia. It's much better for you. A little bit of hazelnut. It's absolutely delicious. And I frothed it up with my little frother. And I don't drink much anymore, which is unfortunate. Because I had some of the best times just getting completely wrecked. But I'm older now, and I have to be more responsible. And honestly, I'm more concerned about my health. I'm probably more concerned about my health now than I ought to be, but I want to live a long time. Is pretty much what I'm saying. Like, as a matter of fact, if there's an option to live forever, I just want a vampire to come. It could be a guy too. Like, it could be a guy vampire. Just suck me hard, bro. And like, I want to live forever. I have a massive fear of death. Not the actual being dead part, just getting old and then dying like real slow. I don't know. There's just something horrifying about it. So sorry to bring everyone down, but I did want to point that out. I don't know where the hell that came from. Ryan says, I'm not depressed. I just don't always got something to say. Yeah, I understand that. Sometimes I say shit probably when I shouldn't. So I've got that curse. Michael says, man, I've missed all these live streams. Turn the notifications on. Yes. I've been doing them at least once a week, Mike. So, you know, they're here. It's happening. As a matter of fact, I was hoping to get hooked up with Eric Marks again. I like doing the live chats with him, but I think his audience might be just a smidge different than mine. Mine seems to have a little bit higher of a tolerance for my bullshit. And, you know, some people just gravitate toward personalities, and I don't always have the most smooth ones. Sometimes it can be kind of abrasive, and that's fine. I mean, that's the joy of, you know, channels. You know, everyone can congregate around their own little camp. That way they can be in their safe space and not be exposed to different ideas. I'm not making fun of you if you're a social justice worker. Sorry, not sorry. But kind of. All right, so Ryan says, I got the AirPods and I love them. Yeah, I don't really do many in-ear buds, but I mean, sometimes they're okay. As long as you like them, $159 later, I hope they're worth it. I've heard good things about them. I'm just not like I paid over $200 for the Beats wireless Solo 3s. So and I like either on or over ear. In ear, most of the time the little rubber doohickeys just they don't stay in my ear very well. So I'm not a huge fan. Warren says, do you use or plan to use a thumb grip on your X-T2 or X-T20? I find that it helps stop me from hitting buttons by accident. And it helps me handle the camera better with the 5140 lens. No, I don't. I don't find that I hit the buttons very often. What I do find is that I hit the buttons on the vertical grip when I'm shooting like this on accident a lot. Well, not a lot. I don't want to say a lot. Sometimes on accident. But I mean, it's not a huge deal. But yeah, I mean, I guess it might help. But I've gotten this far in my life without any sort of like thumb support system, so I'm probably not going to use it. But yeah, I mean, you know, use whatever works for you, bro. Deb Patel says, I got the Sigma 30mm f1.4 after watching your video, and it's literally the best lens ever for my Sony a6000. Would I lie to you? I wouldn't lie to you, man. I told you it was a great lens. As a matter of fact, I used it just like, what, 2 days ago? Love that lens. I absolutely love it. The only bad part about those Sigma lenses is I wish they were OSS lenses. Is that wrong? I really do wish they were optically stabilized, but 9 times out of 10, if it's not a still photo, and if I'm taking video, I'll either have it on a tripod, monopod, or it'll be on the gimbal. So, what's going on, Chris? Good to see you, man. How you enjoying that Fuji X-T3? Eric Rossi says, Tamron's newest line is amazing. Build quality and image quality is spot on. I don't think, here's the thing, which is something that I've been meaning to talk about anyway. I don't think anybody makes a piece of shit anymore. All right, there might be a couple, but I'm not saying names. But not many camera manufacturers or lens manufacturers are making just downright garbage anymore. You know, so you're not going to be lacking no matter which direction you go. What you are going to be doing is you're going to end up finding yourself settling into one camp more than the other one because it happens to meet your needs a little bit more. I don't think that Sony makes bad glass. I just think that Fuji makes better glass for the APS-C size sensor that I want to shoot on. So do I think that this camera company sucks just because they didn't cater to that? I mean, I think it's a bad move on their part because they lost a customer, and I've already spent $4,000 on Fuji stuffs that could have been spent on Sony stuffs. So, you know, I mean, it sucks for them, but it's fantastic for me, because had they made good quality glass for the APS-C, I probably would have never picked up the Fuji X-T3 to begin with. I mean, I probably would, just to do the review on the channel, but yeah, I would have never known the difference. I would have never been even thinking in that direction. So DB Chris says, did you get a handy from the bride? Shoot for free. No, I didn't. But I think that anyone that requests that you do a free gig should at least give you a handy. Okay. I mean, at the very least. Now, if they're really feeling giving, you know, bow down, girl, bow down. But, you know, I'm not trying to be sexist. I'm just saying that most of the girls that I've encountered in my lifetime have gone down, and that's okay by me. That's all I'm saying. David Tail says, at DB Chris 11, I heard that in the video, and I was like, I was dead ass. Haha. Yeah, I'm gross. So I apologize for those that offended anyone about a handy, which is like the most tame thing I could have said. Daniel says, I shoot Nikon predominantly, laughing out loud. I also shoot Sony, Pentax, Canon, and Panasonic, so I'm a universal fanboy, laughing out loud. I need to add Fuji, but I'm too poor. So you're like pan photographer. Pan photographal. Yeah, you're a pan. Yeah, I mean, I've shot with lots and lots of cameras, but don't you ever just kind of like want to, I don't know, trim shit down? Like I'm in this phase right now where I am trying to life edit. Like I edit video all the time, and I find little hunks of fat here and there, or where I've repeated myself a couple times. I'm just like, I don't really need that in there. Just cut that out of there. Let's trim the fat down. Let's condense this shit. People got other important shit to do. So I've been noticing that I've been trying to life edit. Like I don't necessarily think that I want a big editing machine and a travel laptop. I just want to get the baddest ass laptop for editing Final Cut Pro. So none of you PC Master Race motherfucker suggest getting a Dell XPS or just whatever horse shit y'all be talking about. Like, I'm a Final Cut editor, so I'm thinking about getting the MacBook Pro 15-inch. That's what I'm thinking about doing. Selling my desktop, selling the iMac, which, I mean, bang for buck, the iMac's where it's at. That new iMac that they just come out with the KB leg processor, whoo, I would love to have it. But I'm thinking about spending almost double that to get the highest level of MacBook Pro. Because really, I mean, if I get a nice 5K display or something, I'll just plop it right here on the desk, dock my laptop when I get here, and it'll do everything that I want it to do. The most demanding thing that I do at my desk is edit video. And, you know, that laptop can handle it, so why not? All right. So I've really been thinking about getting rid of a lot of stuff. Like, you know, if the cameras that I have are good enough, like I don't need all this other shit. You know, it's just like maybe I should just hang on to one good film camera and just replace it as needed, because it's not like they're that expensive anymore. Do a film camera, do one good solid video camera, and do one good solid stills camera. And if they can all do the other one fairly good, except for the film camera, then fine. So be it. But condensing, getting rid of shit that I just don't need anymore. You know, and I've got a lot of stuff where I don't need half the stuff that I have. I think we just get into this, you know, I have little furry animals that collect shit all the time, you know, little ferrets, and they just like, okay, this is mine. And they take whatever it is and they run off and they go stash it. They don't ever look at it. They don't ever play with it. They don't ever utilize it. They might go and finger it every now and then, but that's about it. They don't actually utilize it whatsoever. They just, and we're not much different. I mean, we're just bigger, more intelligent, fuzzy creatures that collect shit, and we tuck it away, and then we forget about it. We don't ever use it. We don't ever utilize it. We don't play with it. Whew, what's this getting? The innuendos that could come out. But yeah, so you could do that. but I'm trying to edit. So I'm thinking about just getting rid of it. I swear to God, I am so close. I just want to really, I just want to get rid of everything, buy like an RV, sell my property, buy an RV and just travel the country, go see as much shit and hang out with as many people as I possibly can, see all the sites, take all the photographs and just do like a badass travel vlog every single day of my life. That'd be dope as hell. So yeah, I'm doing a lot of life editing here lately. Zoom Chris says, I just bought a grip for my XT10. Feels strong, man. It's just a usual grip because they don't do battery ones. Love it. Yeah, I heard that those little metal ones, the little add-on grips really do help increase the ergonomics of the XT. By the way, Chris, look what Daddy got in the mail today. Don't be jelly. But it is pretty fun so far. I only got to play around with it for about 20 minutes before I had to be on the live stream, but it is pretty sweet. Eric Rossi says, can't wait to upgrade to the 16 Mark II. Laughing out loud besides its downsides. Are you being serious right now? Stop it, dude. You're encouraging the noobs. Stop it. Photo fluids. Dunny Monster says, you tell him Mark Canon should hire you. As a matter of fact, I got a Canon rep contacting me in just a few days. I hope they didn't watch my video, or they probably wouldn't want to contact me anymore. I mean, like I said, I like Canon. I'm not against Canon. I'm not anti-Canon. I just want Canon to do something amazing with the resources that they have. It was a layup. The Canon 60 Mark II was a layup. It was a repackaged 80D. It was a layup. Nothing earth-shattering, nothing groundbreaking, no innovation, nothing that inspires. It was a layup. And that's sad for a company that has as many resources as Canon has. So, very sad. DB Chris, my ding-a-ling, Chuck Berry. Booger Mater, what the hell's going on, man? What's up from Houston, Texas? P.S. Fuji plus Nikon equals love. You spamming ass son of a bitch. Every stream, you're always with the Fuji plus Nikon. Ryan says, well, I'm the coffee guy, so it is true, man. You are the coffee guru. If anyone wants to see nothing but coffee for days on end, go check out Ryan's Instagram. I mean, it is quite literally nothing but coffee. His stories are coffee. The photographs are coffee. I don't know exactly how you keep any stuff in here. You've got to just be shitting like every 16, 17 minutes. I mean, there's no way. He's drinking a latte or an espresso every single time I check my Instagram. Grinding up some beans. Dunny Monster says, well, he says, you are quite right to be afraid of dying. It's officially the biggest cause of death. It's true. It's true. I'm not, like I said, I'm not necessarily like afraid of dying. Like I don't like the process. Just being debilitated for a while. So I try to be as healthy as I possibly can so that I'm not just like all broke down and shit leading up to my death. Like I just don't want to be a burden on family members or friends, and I don't have any kids, so it's going to have to be on, like my nieces and nephews. And while I wouldn't mind being a burden on my nephew, at least one of them, because he's kind of an ass, I don't want to be a burden on anybody. So, and I am pro suicide. And before everyone ruins their shit, I'm talking, if you have a terminal illness, I do believe that you should have the right to decide when you go. It's your life. You should, if you can make your own decisions about, your healthcare and everything else, you should be able to make your own decision about how and when, how dignified you want to be when you finally go out. If you know that you're just going to be a drooling mess at the end of your life and you're not going to remember anybody with dementia, all this other kind of stuff, I don't want that to be the case. I do not want that for my family. So I am 110% pro assisted suicide, or whatever we whatever politically correct term is being used today. So, wow, dude, how did we get back on that? Use Adobe. It's 2017. Lol. No, I refuse Adobe products. Absolutely refuse Adobe products. Nathan, the most intense thing you do as is FAP to Overwatch hentai. Don't lie, Mark. Dude, Overwatch hentai. Is there a thing? Is that a thing? I know that people have already been making nasty photographs with the characters, but I didn't know there was already hentai full on. Someone made it like a movie. I mean, I don't do hentai. I prefer like real porn. Zoom Chris, Mark, did you just call my XPS horseshit? Oh my God, that's unacceptable. War is coming. No, I didn't call your XPS horseshit. I said, I don't want you all to tell me to get a Dell XPS. Don't force that horseshit on me. I have nothing against any computer. You know why? Because I've never had to deal with this problem, so I don't really care. Look, these MacBooks are some of the best built, most well-crafted machines ever. That's not hyperbole. That is fact. And it works in the ecosystem that I like to work. That's the only reason. I mean, I used to be a PC guy. I literally, like, I built my own computers. That was all I knew. Like, I was not into Apple whatsoever until I got with my girlfriend. 7 years ago, her and I got together. She handed me her iPhone 3S or 3GS or whatever it was called. And she goes, hey, you want to check it out? And I was like, yeah, sure. Why not? Of course, I was like, I don't want that piece of shit. At first, I was like, I don't want that piece of shit. I'm an Android guy. I'm an Android. And then she gives it to me. She goes, oh, well, you don't have to use it. You can just put like some music on it or whatever, you just use it as an iPod or something. I was like, oh, okay, maybe I'll try that. I didn't put that damn thing down for 3 days. And soon to follow was an iMac, then a MacBook Pro, then my own iPhone, Apple Watch, just Apple TV, Apple routers, the whole nine, man. It's just, you get in, you stay in, you're hooked. It's not my fault. Blame it on my girlfriend. Let's see here. Man, y'all are. Eric Ross says, dude, I'm trying to get my gear and material minimal. Me too. Me too. I'm trying to go minimal. Deb Patel says, I can't afford Mac, so I install the operating system on my HP. So it's like a $500 Mac that outperforms most expensive, authentic Macs. I'm trying to buy a legit Mac now. Haha, humble beginnings. Yeah, a lot of people start off with a Hackintosh just because the hardware is expensive. I'll agree with you. I mean, it is. But you're not just buying a laptop. You're not just buying a computer. You are buying an ecosystem. You're buying into an ecosystem. You're buying an experience where continuity is very important to me. So, like, if I upload something onto my desktop, it's on my desktop on my laptop. Everything syncs to the cloud. And it does it seamlessly. I don't even notice it. I'm just like, all right, I'm gonna want to work on that from the couch later on. So I just drop it on my desktop. And while I'm doing other shit, it's transferring to the cloud, and then it'll be on my laptop later when I go to get out of this room. So it's absolutely it's an ecosystem. So people that buy into Mac products, they know what's up. Easy Purple says jelly. Chris says, hate you, bro, but I'll have them all soon, I think. Yeah, that's okay. Don't hate me, man. I love you. Nathan, shit, 60 Mark II downgrade for the win. DB Chris says, handy job, Jeff Smoker, finger banging. Oh, no, you aren't sexist, laughing out loud. I'm not. I like women's. I'm a big fan. Easy Purple says, would you recommend me buying the Ceramonic UW Mic 9 or the SRW M4C? And what is the real difference between them? I would not recommend buying either of those. If you have the extra funds, buy this. Buy the Rodelink wireless filmmaker kit. By the way, if you're going to use my links down in the description, this has been by far the best sounding, easiest to use, no hassle, no bullshit, reliable all the time wireless mic setup that I have ever used. This is the only one that I recommend. Simply because it's cheaper than most professional rigs. And you can buy 2 or 3 of them for the price of one. I'll say like the Sennheisers or whatever. So yeah, stay away. Just save yourself the hassle. I have come to realize that good quality, less headache, there's a price tag attached to it. And there's a reason that it is more expensive is because some people are just tired of effing around with trying to fix stuff or jerry-rig stuff constantly. That'd be me. So I pay extra for my stuff. A lot of people say Fuji is too expensive. It's more so relatively than other APS-C cameras and lenses, but worth it. You know, Apple laptops and computers are way more expensive than Windows laptops, but just a lot better built, a lot less hassle, so worth it. You know, the older you get, the more money you have and less sense, apparently. You want better quality. You want to not be hassled with half-assed done cheaper stuff. No offense to anyone that actually is dealing with half-assed cheaper stuff right now, because I did the same thing. But if you have the means, always invest in quality. That's really what you're investing in. You're not investing in, I'm not investing in Apple per se. Like, I don't necessarily like Apple stuff. I don't necessarily think they look the best or have the best everything. I'm investing in the quality and the care and the craftsmanship that they put into what they produce. So it's just a philosophy. It doesn't have to be followed. It's not religion, you know. Boogernator says, hi, yes, sir. Spam lover show. Thanks, Boog. Yeah, Eric says, don't buy Ceramonic. I've already said that, so we got it. Easy Purple. Seems like a great deal. They all do. That's what I was just got done saying. It always seems like a great deal, but it's not always great in practice. Eric says, I've had 3 of their products, both of which you mentioned, all have been worth it. Haven't been worth it. Yeah, I sold all of my Ceramonic gear. Not that it's not that it's necessarily bad gear. It is budget gear. And I had the Rodelink already that I paid for with my own money, and it was just better than what they had produced. Everything just feels better. The connectivity is better. The sync process is better. No proprietary batteries. I've tried lots of wireless systems. Hands down, end of story. Rodelink Filmmaker Kit is my jam. A lot of other YouTubers, a lot of other professionals, a lot of other on-screen personalities will say the exact same thing. If you're looking for good, reliable wireless audio, that's it. Just saying. It does fantastic as far as avoiding interference too from your surroundings. So, like, no drops. Wi-Fi interference is almost nil because it works on different frequencies, or will scan a better frequency and auto switch for you. So, Easy Purple says, or Eric says, not reliable, but that was my experience. My experience too. So it's not that it wasn't not reliable 100% of the time. It just was, it didn't sound as good, and it wasn't as on point as the Rode Filmmaker Kit. So Dunny Monster says, I want to die in the same way I live my life. A huge burden, pain in the ass, but I die laughing with a camera in my hand. I don't know what I'll die with in my hand. It'll probably be my junk, but I was joking the other day. They go, Mark, you don't want to be a burden on your. I said, yes, I do. Yes, I do. I want y'all to figure out a way to keep me alive as long as humanly possible. I want to be a burden on it. Of course, I'm joking, but my mom's like, but Mark, you know how mothers are. Yeah, Eric says, great system, well worth that money. Zoom Chris says, Apple is overpriced, man. I use their products for 5 years, but every upgrade gets more expensive than the previous one, but not necessarily better. That's my beef with Apple. Otherwise, great machine. See, here's the thing, too, is I also, I'm investing also in resale value. So whether or not we necessarily think that they are the best machines for everything that we do, they hold their value better than PCs do, period. So when I buy a $2,500 iMac, I know for a fact, because I've got the 4 gigahertz, one of the best iMacs of its time. I bought it in 2004. I know that I can still get at least, $1,500 for it. So I got to use it for 3 years and I can still get $1,500 for it. Try doing that with any PC. Try doing that with any PC based laptop. It can't be done. So I invest in the resale value so that I'm not out as much when I go to buy my next Apple product. I have built-in investment dollars into the system that I know that it's going to retain more of my buying power when I go to sell it. So that's a thing. Invest wisely. When you buy a PC, you're literally it's disposable. Like almost immediately. Like it's disposable tech. People don't usually throw away their Apple computers. This is beautiful. And the more beautiful that a piece of hardware is, the less disposable that piece of hardware is. That's the reason cheap plastic cameras, they're all over the place. They're a dime a dozen. No one gives a shit about them. They're crunched up. They're garbage. But you start seeing these all metal bodies like the Leica bodies, the old Nikon bodies. They're just completely solid metal. No one gets rid of those, or if they do, they still look as good as the day they did when they rolled off the assembly line. Like that's the reason people invest in metal. These Fuji metal lenses, they're not plastic lenses. They're not plastic bodies. You're investing in quality, craftsmanship. Rant over. Dude, wow, man, I've gone over my time by like 15 or 20 minutes. Thanks, though, for hanging out with me, guys. Yes, Easy Purple. The Roadlink Filmmaker Kit is the jam. Loch Ness says, thought it may have been a protein drink. Are you off to the gym later? No. Nope, I'm not. Eric says, Chris, they are so overpriced, but high quality products. Yep. Ryan says, I got the Shure Motive MV88 and I like it. Yeah, isn't that the little microphone that connects to your phone? I thought about picking up one of those, if nothing else, just to do a review on the channel, but I keep forgetting about it. Zoom says, that's right, Eric, I concur, but with the money from a top shelf MacBook Pro, I can buy twice a better laptop, 17-inch and all. Yeah, but 17-inch, who cares a 17-inch? Those things are so big. I remember I used to have an old Toshiba 17-inch. That thing was a literal monster. That thing was massive. Ryan says, it uses the lightning port on an iOS device. Yep. TB Chris, the best of the best of the best with honors, sir. Thank you, good sir. I appreciate it. Easy Purple says, could I have 2 transmitters with one receiver on the Roadlink? I don't know. I don't think so, though. I think it's 1 receiver per one, or 1 transmitter per 1 receiver. So in that case, if you're looking to try and get multiple units into one, but you could just split the audio out of 1 transmitter. I don't know how close the subjects are going to be, but I know of lots of lavalier systems that will split. So you could do that. That's an option. But yeah, if you're looking to get really complicated, you're probably better off with the Sennheisers. Loch Ness Biker says the X-T3 $15 grip from Amazon. Brilliant. Just get one. I might do it. Because the ergonomics, I mean, they're not horrible for a small little travel camera, but they're not the best either. But as far as a travel camera is concerned, I think this is much more ergonomic than, say, like an RX100 style camera. That's the true story. TB Chris says, do you prefer natural light or strobe shooting? I don't prefer either one. I like them both equally. Like there's benefits to both. I tend to shoot natural light more often just because I don't like lugging around a bunch of extra gear. But when I do studio work, it's always strobes. I don't really have a preference though. I know that each situation has its place. But the thing of it is that strobes and speed lights and stuff, you can't always shoot natural light. And if you always depend on the light, it's going to take you forever to get the shots that you want. You use the artificial light to help you simulate position, lighting position as much as humanly possible, even in unfavorable conditions. So it's a very effective tool for photographers when lighting conditions are not ideal. So I enjoy both. Michael says 17 inches is way too much for some. Oh yeah, daddy. Way too much for me. That's for sure. Chris says, well, I don't care about the resale because in 2 years, every PC, laptop, or Mac is outdated badly. Why would I care to sell it at a good price when I can just refurbish it and give it to the poor people? Dude, look on Craigslist right now. You can find a 2012 MacBook or iMac right this second, still going for $500, because at that point they're collector's items, so they're still holding resale value. Just saying. See, you don't listen to me, Chris. I'm telling you. Listen to Daddy. I'm telling you. If you want to invest, you invest in quality. You may not get nothing. You may not get nothing out of that PC when it's time to sell, but you will definitely get something back out of your Apple products when it's time to sell. I may have spent $1,000 on this phone when I bought it, but I'm going to get $800 back when I go to sell it. It's just the way it goes. Michael says, dropped off 2 rolls while I was out in Texas for development. Also got some Ektar 100 and some Acros 100. You know, now that I've been shooting the Acros film simulation on the Fuji X-T3, I've really been thinking about picking up some Acros film. Just trying it out. Now, I am an HP5 fan. I love Ilford film because of the grain structure. I like it grainy. And Ilford is, and Tri-X, you know, I've kind of developed a better affinity for Tri-X since I picked it back up again. But Ilford is still the best grain pattern and structure, in my opinion. So, you know, some people absolutely hate grain. But when you're shooting film, that is what makes it look just so damn good, in my humble opinion. Loch Ness Biker says, XT20, $15 grip from Amazon. Yeah, you already said that, didn't you? I'm repeating myself now. Zoom Chris, it will never sell, bro. Been there, done that, got the t-shirt. It will. It sells every time. Every time. Any plans for the July 4th party? I don't have any plans. I'm not exactly sure what we want to do as of yet. I'm debating on whether or not to maybe take the camera out and go to the river for some fireworks photography or something like that. But then again, I might just hook up with some friends, just get shit-faced drunk, which I haven't done in a very long time, so it wouldn't take much. Yeah, a lot of people keep asking me, all right, so this is going to get kind of off topic and it's not going to be photography related, but I have had a few questions. So I figured that I would go ahead and talk about it for those of you that have been wondering. Okay. So some of you guys have been asking me, says, Mark, are you sick? And I said, why do you say that? And it says, well, we've been noticing that in your videos or whatever, we saw, we saw that you had a lot more weight on you, say like a year ago or even 6 or 7 months ago. And I was like, yeah, it's true. I did. And I was almost 200 pounds. I have lost almost 300 or not 300 pounds, 30 pounds in a very, very short amount of time. So, but I want to reassure everyone that I am not sick. I am not ill in any way, shape, or form. I do not have any disease, any parasites, or any tapeworms or anything like that. I am 100% healthy. but I have completely and totally stopped drinking. Like, I was a heavy drinker. Loved to drink, loved my vodka. I don't drink anymore. I loved my craft beer. I don't drink that anymore. So now it's a lot more coffee. But I've also completely changed the way that I'm eating as well. So I know that to a lot of people this might sound a little bit counterintuitive, but I basically eat a very high fat, low carbohydrate diet. I mean, that's as a matter of fact, I've actually kind of thought about starting a different channel so that I could talk about these kind of topics with people. But I eat extremely high fat. As far as my macros are concerned, I eat very high fat, low carbohydrates, no pasta, no wheat, no biscuits, no crackers, no waffles, no pancakes, no cookies, no, I just don't eat any of that. I eat just a massive salad every single day, probably about 8 to 10 cups in size, as far as, a handful. And I eat a couple of slices of protein, whether it be like some ham, bacon, several, 2 or 3 eggs, maybe, something like that. A little bit of cheese, lots of vegetables though. And, the weight just comes off. I mean, my blood work has come back fantastic. So I don't want anyone to worry about my internals. And I feel better now than I probably did, when I was in my 20s. So that's saying a lot, because I was drunk a lot. I mean, I was trashed a lot in my 20s. But yeah, I feel way better now. Like I said, I've lost amazing weight. I even got my mother doing it. She was a full-blown type 2 diabetic. We both started back in October of 2016. So she's lost about 30 pounds. I've lost about 30 pounds. My girlfriend has lost about 19 pounds. My mother was a full-blown type 2 diabetic. Her A1C at her last checkup was 100% normal. She was like a 5.4 on her A1C. So for any of you that were that are diabetic or pre-diabetic or whatever, you can fix yourself. And she's not taking her blood pressure medication anymore. She's not doing a lot of different stuff. I mean, the doctors were wanting to put her on statins. She's completely fixed herself. She still does have to take her insulin, but she was at 160 units of insulin per day, and now she's dropped completely down to about 50 units of insulin per day. So just within a 3 to 6 month period, she's been able to go from 160 units of insulin all the way down to 50. She has completely fixed her blood sugar. She doesn't have the wild sugar numbers anymore. My grandmother is not taking blood thinner anymore. There's just a lot of amazing things that have been happening in my family from doing this. My stepdad, he's lost almost 50 pounds. So we're all doing it together. We're all helping each other. We're all supporting each other. So I just wanted to let everyone know that I am not sick and I don't have cancer or anything like that. I am as healthy as I have ever been. I'm not tired anymore. I don't feel sluggish anymore. I don't have as many breathing problems as I did anymore. I used to get really bad sinus infections. They would drain down into my chest, and I would become almost, bronchial. Like, I mean, I would just have bad chest infections constantly. Of course, stop not smoking anymore has definitely helped with that. But I mean, I do not get sick. Like, I have not been sick. Knock on wood. I have not been like bedridden sick. And I used to get sick probably 3 to 4 times a year with some sort of infectious, chest infection, something like that. None of that has happened to me since then. Ever since I have swapped over, now I'm not talking about high fat. When I'm talking about high fat, I'm talking about good fat. I'm talking like coconut oil fat. I'm talking, saturated animal fats. I'm not talking about vegetable oils or canola oil or safflower, none of that processed oil. I'm talking olive oil, coconut oil, avocado oil, oil from olives or avocados directly. I eat a lot of that. Lots of guacamole stuff, it's good, healthy fats. And like, I've never felt better. So even though I'm consuming a lot more fat to keep myself, feeling full, lost 30 pounds, not sick. I feel fantastic. So for those of you that were worried about me, I deeply appreciate it. But yeah, it is not, I am not sick. So I don't want to take up any more time talking about that. But if you guys have any more questions about it, you can easily do an internet search. do a YouTube search. I follow a doctor on YouTube. The two channels that I would recommend if anyone's interested, I don't know if you are, I don't have all the answers, but the one that I would recommend highly, just because all of his videos are very short, very small, very bite-sized, it's Eric Berg, Dr. Berg, B-E-R-G. Just do a YouTube search for him. He does great little bite-sized informational videos, but if you want more in-depth scientific style stuff, do a YouTube search for Low Carb Down Under. Most of the talks end up taking place in Australia because it's down under. So just want to throw that out there. Just want to let everyone know that I'm not sick, that I don't have some sort of debilitating disease. That's the reason I'm losing weight or whatever. It's just, it's completely on purpose, and I'm 100% healthy. So I appreciate it. I appreciate the concern. DB Chris says, crap 20s. That was 30 years ago for me. Yeah, that was, I'm about to turn 40. My 40th birthday will be next month. I've got like 2 weeks. That'll be my birthday. So Boogernator says, fat. Fuck your carbs. Stick it to the man. Chris, don't listen, lol. You know, he's probably my favorite troll, really. I like Boogernator. I mean, even his name is troll as hell. Dunny Monster says, I'm super healthy, but that doesn't mean I ain't sick. Laughed out loud. Scordex says, if you can't start over your career, what will you choose? Or if you can start over your career, what will you choose? I'm not planning on making any changes. At least I hope not. You know, I like what I'm doing. Like I said, if it was up to me, I would life edit as much of this peripheral stuff out of my life. Just go with one machine. You know, one stills camera, one video camera, and sell this land and sell everything. Just grab like an RV or something and just travel across the country and just go see as much stuff, experience as many different cultures as I possibly could, talk to as many people, make as many friends, take as many pictures and videos, and just be like a travel vlogger or something like that. That would be ideal for me. If I could start over right here, right now, that's exactly what I do. Stuff. The older you get, the more you realize that you're not taking any of this shit with you. You're going to die someday. All this stuff will burn. All you have, well, the only things you take with you are your experiences. So, you know, if you want to accumulate wealth and all that kind of stuff, I'm not anti-wealth. I'm actually pro-capital. You know, I love capitalism. I like the wealth building. A lot of risk takers out there. I appreciate those kinds of people, but personally, you don't get to take any of it with you. I would rather hoard experiences and memories, I guess, so that if I do end up, you know, realizing like that there's some sort of afterlife or whatever. I mean, I'm not a huge religious person or anything, but if there is an afterlife, I've got a bunch of fun shit to take with me when I go. So there's that. Chris, be safe, Mark. See you soon, buddy. Take care, all. Goodbye, my friend. I'm about to hop off here myself. Damn, it's almost 6 o'clock. Dave P. Question, do you think that the X-T2 is a good wildlife camera? Have you used the 100-400 lens? I have not used the 100-400. I have used the 50-140. I didn't get to play around with the 50-200. But if someone can correct me if I'm wrong, as a matter of fact, I'm just going to look it up real quick. Let me just say that the optical image stabilization in Fuji cameras are stupid good. So yes, it has optical image stabilization and weather resistance. Yeah. Yeah, as a matter of fact, so since that's the case, on the Fuji X-T3, that would be a monster of a lens. That is just crazy. And you can pick it up used right now for just under $1,700. Yeah, I'm telling you right now, the optical image stabilization in Fuji lenses are amazing good. Like I thought that optical steady shot was good. Nowhere near what the OIS is in the Fuji lens. So it sounds like if you're looking at that lens, you're probably already looking or probably already own the Fuji X-T3. If you own the kit lens, you know it's fantastic. If you own the 50-140, you know it's amazing. So yeah, it would be a beast of a lens on the Fuji X-T2, and the ISO performance on the X-T2 is fantastic. So even though it is a slightly slower lens, I mean, if you're outside and you're doing wildlife, you know, you should be fine. Image or shadow recovery on the X-T2 raw files are fantastic, and the metering system inside the X-T2, in my opinion, underexposes just a little bit. So I always bump it up 2/3 of a stop on the exposure compensation as like my normal setting, everyday setting. But yeah, I mean, I think it would be a fantastic wildlife combination. I mean, it shoots 14 frames per second with the battery grip. So if you're going to put that big of a lens on there, I would assume that you're going to have the battery grip on there as well. But yeah, it's probably going to be pretty fantastic. So, all right, guys, I'm going to go ahead and cut on out of here. I appreciate everyone for hanging out with me today. Sorry if I jumped off topic a little bit, but I always appreciate you guys hanging out and making my my Friday afternoons a little bit more exciting. So anyway, guys, thanks so much for stopping here at the Photo Video Show. PVS Live is out. Peace. Be safe out there tonight. Don't do nothing I wouldn't do. And if you do, name it after me.